So we've been doing a segment called Everyday Missionaries, and this is our desire as pastors to just highlight the reality that we as Christians, as believers, should be living all of our life as missionaries. This is not reserved for the pastor. This is not reserved for the missionary that's overseas. This is true for all believers. And so we want to just highlight people in our congregation. We want you to hear from them. People that are being very intentional with the ways that they live their lives in their homes, in their workplaces, in their schools, and just provide that as an example to you. And so I have Katie and Asher up here who I think do this really well. I'm going to hand this to you. And I'm just going to ask them a couple questions and let them share what they've done to be intentional. Katie in her workplace and Asher in his school. And so I just want to ask a simple question of, would you just share with us some ways that you've been intentional with evangelism and reaching those who are in your direct sphere of influence?
So I work at Southeast Saline, and so I've obviously just connected with that sermon that I've been called to be a missionary there, which so many of you actually go to school there, that it's like an extension of our church in a very strange way. Yeah. But I did teach in the private Christian school before. So teaching in a public school, there's obviously an imaginary line of getting fired if I say too much about my faith, which is why it's more of a mission field than other careers probably. But I'm just intentional with, if I choose a read aloud, I'm choosing The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, C.S. Lewis, because when they figure out who Aslan is, then they take that conversation into the gospel, and I don't, get fired for saying too much. And when I teach, when Christmas comes around and I teach holidays around the world, I'm able to then teach, what a Christian Christmas looks like, and the legend of the candy cane, and there's actually a gospel in that story. And so any kid in here who's been through fourth grade with me, they've heard the gospel through me, somewhat not crossing that line. And then I know when a kid asks me the first time if they can bring their Bible to school, that I did something right and said just enough that they feel like our classroom is an extension of their church. So that's kind of what I would say.
Yeah, I love that. It's so simple and yet practical of just the content that you're putting before them. I love that. Asher, would you mind sharing?
Yeah, a few things that I do outside of school is I have a garden, and it's a great way to I grow vegetables, and I can share them with people in my community, and then I bake goods, and I can share them with my neighbors. And a few things in school that I do is it's very simple. You can just join a club, participate, and volunteer at school-held events, whether that's a dance that I had last night that I helped volunteer and set up for. A club that I do participate in personally is FCCLA, which stands for Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America, and it's where we go out as a community and help make an impact on the people who are struggling, and we also do local fundraisers to help the local charities in Salina.
I love that. So share one thing that you've seen to have the greatest impact, just in the lives of those who you interact with, and
I would say in the school, the impact that we have is I try to reach the staff. And I think that's important in every workplace, that everybody knows your faith, and that you start with sharing that love with them. And then eventually they know that you're there to pray with them. And it's at our school, we have a staff Bible study that I help lead, and prayer group stuff. And I think just being intentional in your workplace so everybody knows where your faith is, and that they can come to you with anything, I guess.
Yeah, I love that. Asher, would you have anything to add?
Yeah, the one thing I really enjoy is baking. It's something that I do intentionally, and it's a great way to serve everyone, whether it's school, my coworkers, friends, family, my neighbors. And it's something that I feel like I enjoy, and you need to enjoy when you're reaching out to continue to want to do it in the future, because if you find something that you don't enjoy doing, there's a less likely chance you're going to continue to take that with you into the future.
Yeah. Moral of the story, everybody loves food. Take them food, they'll hear the gospel. It's great. No, okay, so for those in the room that are maybe hesitant, they don't know what should be their next step, they're just I don't know where to start. What encouragement would you have for them?
I would start with, I feel like if you show love to those around you, anywhere you're at, that will be reciprocated, and that will open the doors to whether they're kids or adults that you're with. And hopefully all of my students know how much, we love them. And I'm obviously in a staff that has a lot of Christians, so I think we it flows through our school. But obviously I wear shirts that show that, but I also have lots of shirts I wear to school that have scriptures on them. And I think in any workplace, if you just show that, it becomes a mission field in that way.
If you don't know where to start, I think you just need to start with just listen. When you're listening to other people's thoughts and struggles, it helps you serve them on a more personal and deep level and help impact them in a greater where they can take that into the future and be like, that person really impacted my life and encouraged me to reach out as well.
Those are really good and practical tips. Would you all say thank you to the Swanks?
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing today. Yeah.